All right, welcome in. You're watching Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. Chase Senior here with you. Hope all of your weeks are off to a fine start. So much to talk about on today's show with James Wiseman making his NBA Summer League debut. Jonathan Kuminga, Mac McClung also playing really well. We'll get to all of that coming up, but first, shout out to ohhh for making today's show possible. The best, most elite online digital safety tool, and right now you can get a free 14-day trial if you head to ohhh.com/chatsports. We'll tell you more about them coming up here in just a few moments. But we begin with James Wiseman. Made his Summer League debut in Las Vegas last night in a comeback win over the San Antonio Spurs and looked really, really good. Of course, his rehabilitation process was cut short back during the regular season because he ran into knee soreness coming off of that knee surgery that he got back 2 springs ago. But really good signs for him and this basketball team moving forward, because if you think about it, he is such a gifted big, and that's why he was selected number 2 drafts ago. And if the Warriors have a healthy James Wiseman, this team, once again coming off an NBA championship, is going to be a problem, and James Wiseman has all of the talent to be a problem going up against other NBA bigs. So you take a look at what he did last night against San Antonio. 11 points, 5 of 7 from the floor, 1 of 1 from 3, and 2 blocks. I thought he ran the floor well. He looked athletic. He looked really spry. He looked healthy, which is really the biggest thing for him moving forward. And I watched the game live on ESPN3. Here are some of my takeaways. He started the game off, and the first bucket was a pick and roll right to the hoop, operating a little 2-man game with Jonathan Kuminga, who threw it up to James Wiseman. He threw it down, and you could tell he threw it down with a little gusto, because I think he was so excited to finally be back on the floor playing competitive basketball outside of just playing 5-on-5 scrimmages with his Warriors teammates. He displayed the mid-range jumper with the little southpaw J. It looked really smooth to me. Walked into a 3-pointer from the right wing where he was operating out of the high post, was looking for a teammate to dish to, realized that he had space and a glimmer of hope to get that shot off, and I thought the 3-point stroke looked really good as well. Protected the rim with a couple of blocks, and really what's so important for him as a young defensive player, especially nowadays with the game is played, how can bigs guard switches out to the 3-point arc, but also in the trenches. And I thought James Wiseman able to display some ability there. It's going to be really big for his development as he progresses throughout his NBA career. There is some bad on top of all of the good that we just talked about. He did have 7 fouls in less than 20 minutes of game action, but I'm not concerned about that at all. I like the aggressiveness. I like the activity that I saw from James Wiseman. Most importantly, you go back to the health. That's what we had to see. You think about this, hasn't really played since going through that rehab process with the Santa Cruz Warriors, and at that time playing at the G League level, he looked really good, but hasn't played a competitive basketball game since then against another team, and he's just getting used to game action. So his arms are going to flail a little bit. He can get lost at times, and that's the byproduct of those 7 fouls in less than 20 minutes. There is no foul limit during NBA Summer League action. That's why he was able to continue to play. So Dub Nation, if you're excited about James Wiseman, I want you to hit that thumbs up icon and like the video. If you think about it, he is such a special, gifted guy that the Warriors haven't really had. I mean, Kevon Looney is one type of big. James Wiseman is in a different stratosphere. If you're not excited about Wiseman, I want you to get into the comment section and comment why. As for me, you think about this Warriors dynasty. 4 NBA championships with the current iteration of this crew, 6 NBA Finals appearances over the last 8 years. This team, during this run, has never had a big as physically gifted as James Wiseman. He has the mid-range pull-up. He has the baseline J. He can start knocking down some threes to open up and spread out the floor, playing alongside Steph Curry as well as Klay Thompson. He has the size to mix it up in the low trenches on the low block and has that little baby hook fadeaway J. And also, he's a really good rim protector when he's playing at his fullest capability. Kevon Looney is one type of athlete. James Wiseman is another. That's why he was selected at number 2. And then you think about Andrew Bogut, David Lee before that. The Warriors dynasty has never had a center as physically gifted as James Wiseman. He just needs to stay healthy. And if he's able to stay healthy, this team has a great opportunity at hand to repeat as NBA champions because of his high-level play on both ends of the floor. You look at the potential starting five. Now, maybe Wiseman comes in off the bench. Maybe he's your starter. I like the flexibility there with Kevon Looney because you know what you're going to get from the ultimate glue guy in Looney, who re-up with the Warriors in NBA free agency. But this lineup right here offers so much versatility, so much switching on the defensive end, and then offensively, playmaking, shooting, floor spacing, but with the backdoor cuts, with Draymond operating out of the high post and everything that Wiseman offers this Warriors offense, they can be really scary across the board. Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins, Draymond Green, and James Wiseman or Kevon Looney. I don't think you can go wrong with either at that starting center position. Are you subscribed to the channel? You better be, because Warriors Today been on a historic run. Last month, more than 2 million views. We picked up 10,000 new subscribers, and a big reason for that, us being entertaining, informative, consistent with our coverage. We're not stopping here. Make sure you hit that red sub button down below as we get closer and closer to 50,000 subs. That is our next goal. Still to come on the show, Jonathan Kuminga, Mac McClung, getting love from NBA.com as they were deemed NBA Summer League standouts. And does Mac McClung, with the way that he's been playing, have a realistic shot of cracking this Warriors roster and maybe getting a legit NBA contract? We'll get to that coming up here momentarily, but first, I told you off the top, today's show presented to you by ohhh, the best online digital safety tool. Nowadays in 2022, think about how much time we spend on our computers as well as our cell phones and all of the information that we filter in to basically lend itself to all of these online hackers just taking all of our really useful identity and all of our bank account information. And because of that, so many people get hacked on a day in, day out basis, on a yearly basis. Millions of people get their bank accounts hacked and their identities stolen. With ohhh, you don't have to worry about that. A free 14-day trial is what they are offering you and all of Dub Nation. Head to ohhh.com/chatsports for that deal to apply for you. If you have a family, this plan can protect up to 5 family members. We do more online than ever. ohhh does everything and more to keep you and your family safe. Now we pivot to the Summer League standouts outside of James Wiseman. By the way, he is expected to play once again on Monday night, which is really good for his health if he's able to bounce back very quickly after playing nearly 20 minutes. NBA.com naming Jonathan Kuminga, Mac McClung as Summer League standouts. And a big reason for that, what they were able to do in a comeback bid against the San Antonio Spurs. Jonathan Kuminga was great. Mac McClung may have been even better. You look at the numbers side by side for what McClung, a second-year guy, and Jonathan Kuminga, also a second-year guy, were able to do. And Mac McClung might figure to be one of the offseason steals if he can crack this Warriors roster, because he elected to play with the Warriors because he wasn't getting enough time with the Los Angeles Lakers. So if Golden State can once again hand it to the Los Angeles Lakers and they get a hidden gem in Mac McClung, that's great. 22 points last night, 9 of 15 from the floor, 5 rebounds for Mac, 6 dimes, 3 steals, and then for Jonathan Kuminga, 28 points on 10 of 22 shooting, 7 rebounds, 4 dimes, and he was able to play 26 minutes. It was really Mac McClung who was making the crowd ooh and ah with some really athletic plays, pull-up jumpers on the mid-range, up and unders, also displaying some explosiveness at getting to the rim. As for what NBA.com had to say about Kuminga, then we'll get to what they said about Mac McClung. After a forgettable debut Friday for Jonathan, 4 points, 2 of 10 shooting, Golden State second-year prospect from the G League, he was really good, displaying a Scottie Pippen-esque flair, scoring 28 points with 7 boards, 4 dimes, sank 10 of 22 of his field goal attempts. He did have 5 turnovers. That's, of course, a little bit of a concern. A couple of poor decisions trying to force the ball to center James Wiseman, but demonstrated both the size and skill that made the Warriors grab him at number 7 in the 2021 NBA draft. So a big reason for all of the turnovers for Kuminga, he was handling the basketball much more than he will be handling the basketball with the actual Warriors roster. He won't be in that position where he has to take the ball up and handle it as much as he did Another area I want to see him improve upon on top of the turnovers, it's the free throws. Okay, 7 of 18 from the line, that was trash, but I have faith in Jonathan Kuminga and this coaching staff to right the ship in that regard. As for Mac McClung, this guy continues to be a really interesting prospect and an interesting young player for this Warriors team. It was only days earlier that McClung had played 2 games of NBA experience this past year, but played with the Lakers in the California Classic in San Francisco. But he had to come off the bench behind other prospects and aspiring guards. So what did the 23-year-old do? Out of Georgetown and Texas Tech, he switched teams for a greater opportunity in Las Vegas. He's taking advantage of that. All McClung did, he scored 22, 9 of 15 from the deck against San Antonio, and was able to fill out the stat sheet. He triggered 2 of the crowd's loudest moments with highlight plays, including a behind-the-back pass at hyper speed for a fast break bucket, and last year's NBA G League Rookie of the Year dazzled players and fans with his energy, bouncing around and off the floor. And look, when I think about Mac McClung, when I evaluate him, when I scout him, I don't think this is a Summer League overreaction. And oftentimes throughout Summer League, there are overreactions, and some of these ways in which we pin these prospects don't end up ringing true. But Mac McClung can play as a backup guard in the NBA. He has playmaking ability. He can create off the bounce. He has the athleticism to finish around the rim, despite him being a little bit undersized. If he's able to shield defenders and finish with opposite hands around the rim, but also twirl up in the air and hit some of those up and under layups, he can find a role on an NBA roster. And I sneakily hope that it's with the Warriors because of their player development program and him just being a better backup point guard and creator and disher and scorer as compared to a guy like Chris Chiozza. And I'd rather go with Mac McClung over a player of that caliber. So when you've watched McClung throughout Summer League and a couple of games with the Dubs, I want to ask you this question before we hop on out of here. One more thing to get to, by the way, as we want to give a shout out to some of our loyal subscribers. Do you want the Warriors to sign Mac McClung? Give me a Y for yes or an N for no. I think they should. Offer him an NBA contract, see what he can do throughout the preseason. Now, last week I did tell you, look, if you send us a picture of you rocking some Warriors gear, we are going to give you a shout out on the show. So want to give a couple of shout outs here. Seeps, if you can pull up that L3 if we have it. If not, just let me know. I'll verbally give some of our subscribers some shout outs. But I told you last week, hey, on Warriors Today, send us a picture of you rocking some Warriors gear. We will give you a shout out. So shout out to Will right here, rocking a Warriors hat, smoking a stogie in celebration of the Warriors winning yet another NBA championship. And then Checkmate Wrestling, hit me up on Twitter as well, at Chase_Senior, rocking that fresh Warriors white hat. Nice garb to go along with it. We appreciate all of our subscribers. If you haven't subbed, do so right now for the best Warriors coverage. And thanks so much for watching today's show.